Alright, Shalom. I want to give all honor, glory, praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace, salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity, waiting on the second coming of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Shalom. Today I'm going to get into the New Testament, the Gentiles that were spoken of in the New Testament. Those were Israelites, that were scattered. So first it started off with that Isaiah chapter 28. We're on to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, 12 tribes of Israel, the southern and northern kingdom. So this is a book of Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah. Book of Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Yeah, let's get into that, the word precept. A precept has to be upon precept for you to get that understanding. Here a little, there a little. That's why we link up precepts with other precepts, so you could get that better understanding. That's what precept upon precept is. Linking it up to make it make more sense, to make you understand it. That's how you will be able to understand it, like what we just read. So let's get into book of Isaiah, chapter 28. So that's how you'll be able to understand that doctrine, like I just read in that verse. And getting into that word precept, it tells you command, ordinance, oracle, meaning dubious. This is to savath.
Strong's H 6673. Sayav. Second entry.
Strong's G. Soft. So it's a Strong's H 6673, and it means command, ordinance, oracle, meaning dubious. So used in mocking mimicry of Isaiah's words, and thus not a true divine command. Yeah, so it's a commandment. When you read onto it, it says commandment, precept. So the volume of the book, these precepts are commandments. That's why if you don't follow water baptism in the name of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, you're not following the commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Like it said, roughly paraphrasing, he commanded them to be baptized. That's why we have to be baptized in his name. He said he commanded them to be baptized in the name of the Lord, roughly paraphrasing Acts chapter 10, like I was saying. Because as it says in the book of Psalms, chapter 119. Let me get that real quick. Book of Psalms. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 119. And verse Psalms chapter 119 and verse 172. My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness. And Yahweh Shai, when he got baptized, he said, I suffer it to fulfill all righteousness. So that's how it was a commandment, like how it said, because the commandments are righteousness. So precepts, the volume of the book, Yahweh Shai, it's commandments. Like how Yahweh Shai said, don't you know in the law that ye are gods? That's in Psalms chapter 82. That's in the Old Testament. So that was a commandment. It was part of the law. So we can continue. I can continue on in the blue letter real quick on the book of Isaiah. Book of Isaiah chapter 28. I was at verse. I'll read verse 11 now. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people. Yeah, Khan, this is talking about, this English language that we're speaking right now. Salakia, if I said Hebrew before, I meant to say English. What I meant to say was, that's how you know that Hebrews that's how you know Hebrews are pure language, Salakia. That's our pure language, like how it says in Zephaniah chapter 3. Because we don't have our pure language back fully to speak it fluently, the full language. We know what we were taught, what we were born and taught into with English. Let me get that in the NLT for edification's sake. It says, so now God will have to speak to his people through foreign oppressors who speak a strange language. Yeah, and Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is our oppressor, and he speaks this English in his out here in the Western Hemisphere, over here in Babylon the Great. Khan, I could line that up with the book of Deuteronomy. It's part of the curses too. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. For Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Yeah, Khan, because we didn't know this English language, we didn't understand it. Now we were born into it. We were scattered over here, and now we know it. Like I was saying, our pure language is Hebrew, so that's why this was a strange language to us. Come on, Yahweh Radazah. If we have that number, we come back to the true language, the fullness of the language. If we have the elect Yahweh Radazah. So Khan, I'm gonna get Isaiah chapter. Continue on real quick. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 12. To whom he said, this is the rest wherein ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear. But the word of Yahweh was unto them, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. Yeah, so this is also for people to be snared and taken, because only a remnant's getting saved out of this, and a great multitude, So Khan, this is for the elect, Khan, not everybody's gonna get it. They're gonna be snared and taken, and they're gonna fall because they're in darkness and they got Satan on them, just like back in the garden, the serpent. Satan, what Satan was doing, who that serpent was. Like how I re-uploaded the Brother Howie Allah's lesson. Check it out, Yahweh Radazah. Like how I went into it as well in the Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. When I went into that lesson, the envy of the devil, I said that went back into the garden, and that was Satan, man. So ultimately, if you have of your father the devil, because you're of Satan, man. So Khan, yeah, a lot of people are gonna are snared and taken on this piece of the Gentiles. That's why I brought this out as well. A lot of people can't understand it because the mysteries of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai aren't given to them, as it says in Matthew chapter 13. It's only for the elect. Khan. Yeah, like I said, Deuteronomy, it tells us we were scattered across the Deuteronomy 28:25. It tells us that. We'll get that one real quick. Deuteronomy. Look at Deuteronomy chapter 28. Verse 25. And the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies, and thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all kingdoms of the earth. Yeah, because we were scattered across the four corners of the earth. You know, the 12 tribes. Yeah, there's another one on that too. Come on, this is a... Yes, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. Oh, Salaki already brought that out before. Let me get it real quick in the here. Yes, it's 64. Salakia. To line it up with that 25, it says Deuteronomy 28:64, the Lord shall scatter thee among the people, and from the ends of the earth, even unto other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, and neither which neither nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. You know that wood is Christianity, and that stone is Muslim. You know, and we were exiled, caused to our disobedience. You know, that's why we were put into captivity. You know that this is Khan. We worship gods of these other nations. You know, Columbus. You know, and the conquistadors, they brought those to us. You know, forced it on the people. You know. Our people, we didn't have, we were destroyed for lack of knowledge, but we know that a remnant will come back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and have no guile, and have that true doctrine, 100% no guile, no deceit, as it says in Revelation chapter 14 as well. We were scattered, and then, so now I'm gonna get into that. We're gonna get in that book of Hosea. Bring that out real quick. Yeah, so this is Hosea chapter 1, and I'm gonna start at verse 6. She conceived again a bare daughter, and God said unto him, call her name Lo Ruhaman, and for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away. But I will have mercy on the house of Judah, and will save them by Yahweh their power, and will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen. And now when she had weaned Lo Ruhamah, she conceived and bare a son. Then said I, God, call his name Lo Ami. Yeah, Salaki. Call his name Lo Ami, which Lo Ami means not my people. For ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. And you know, this happened during the time of the Maccabees in the book of Apocrypha, when our people became uncircumcised. You know, so Khan, if you gotta read the book of Maccabees to understand that, you gotta have the Apocrypha, because that's how you know that we were Hellenized. Our people became Gentiles in the ways of Gentiles. We're through that Hellenization period, through the book of Maccabees, Antiochus Epiphanes. You know, so Khan, you gotta understand the history to know the mystery. You know, that's why you gotta read the Apocrypha. Khan. So verse 10. Yet the number, well, yeah, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, ultimately he divorced the nation of Israel right there, you know, because right now we're betrothed right now in that betrothed period, you know, waiting for our bride, Mislaki, our bridegroom. We're the bride, and Yahweh Shai is coming for his bride, because we're, like I said, we were divorced. We're the wife that was divorced. So Khan, yeah, these kids are being used as an allegory, you know, to show what happened to Israel, man. That's what these kids were being used as an allegory. Khan. That's why I said, you know, we were divorced, you know, because we were the wife, we're the bride. Yahweh Shai is the bridegroom coming for his bride, you know. So Khan, and like we were dry bones. That's another to get more into it. We were dry bones, and now we have that breath of life, you know, just like Adam. He had that breath of life, so do we now, and we got to get it right, you know. Yahweh Shai. You know, Yahweh Shai, he fell as Adam, he fell as Solomon to the woman. They both fell to woman, and then he got it right. He was obedient unto death, as it says in Philippians chapter 2. So he can't. That's what we need to be, obedient unto death. Some will not taste the death till Yahweh Shai comes, roughly paraphrasing, but we still got to be in the same ought to walk as he walked, because he was the example. So Khan, let's continue on. So yet the number of children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living God. So you can't. Yeah, so that's when Israel is gonna come back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you know, that through obedience unto death. Verse 11, then shall the children of Judah and children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. You know, Jezreel, you know, going into the seat of power, you know. So yeah, that's why we gotta believe by faith, man. You know, because that's what that remnant's gonna do. You're gonna be joint heirs, the seed of the promise, by having the sons of the living power, the children of Abraham. You know, through faith. Come on. You know, that's why I said we're coming back. You know, like how it says in coming back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai through receiving that bread like that Adam got through faith, standing in great boldness, as it says in Ezekiel chapter 37. You know. Because we walk by faith, we don't walk by sight. You know, like Thomas, he walked by. That's why Yahweh Shai told Thomas, "Blessed are they that believe and blessed are they that don't see and believe." Roughly paraphrasing. Yeah, blessed are they that have not seen and believe. Roughly paraphrasing. This is John chapter 1 and verse 12. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. So you got to believe on his name in action. You know, it's not of faith. I mean, it's not of the will of man. It's not of blood, nor the will of flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. Yeah, so we do this by faith through Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. He's the one that's ultimately going to wake you up at the end of the day. You know, and that's how we know we're the sons of God, as it says in verse 12. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. You know, that's why we're trimming our lamps. You know, because the bridegroom's coming back for his bride. You know, we want to be those 5 wise virgins, man. You know, like how it says in Matthew chapter 25. Samaki is. Yeah, so now I'm gonna get into that. Yeah, we want to be those 5 wise, like I was saying. We don't want to be the 5 foolish. But what I'm gonna get into is now I'm gonna get into that book of John. Salakia, bear with me. This is the book of John. This is the book of John. Yeah, so this is the book of John, chapter 10, and verse 16. And other sheep have I which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. Yeah, that's going into the Gentiles that are Israelites that are going to believe. That I must bring and shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Yeah, Khan. So that's what Yahushua is talking about right there. That's red letter. You know, which are not of his fold. The sheep that were not of his fold that he shall bring in are those Gentiles. You know, Khan. Because we all, you know, we're Gentiles at one point. We weren't raised in the customs, man. That's why we were all scattered across the 4 corners of the earth. Khan. See, yeah, Khan. Like, this is a... Yeah, I'm going to bring that out, too, going into the scattering, you know. I already brought it out in Deuteronomy, but we'll get that, Yahweh willing, get that, I'll get that John 7 and 35, too, as well. So this is the book of John. So I'm gonna go into Caiaphas. This is John, chapter 11, verse 45. And one of them named Caiaphas being the high priest, that same year. Salaki, if I'm saying his name wrong, I feel like I am. And one of them named Caiaphas being the high priest that same year said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. So, come on. I'm going to continue on. And this, yeah, so basically saying, you know, that, you know, if Yahweh Shai, you know, if he didn't die for us, you know, we would perish, basically. The nation would perish if Yahweh Shai didn't die for us. I'm going to continue on. Verse 31, and this spake he not of himself, but being high priest. But being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahweh Shai should die for the nation. So that shows you he only died for Israel. You know, the nation of Israel. That shows you it's only for Israel. You know, we can see he understood this prophecy. you know, of our people, you know, that he would die for the nation of Israel. And that our people would be destroyed if not, if Yahushua didn't die for them. So verse 52, and not for that nation only, not for that nation only, because there was two nations, you know, and Caiaphas understood that. But that also he should gather together in one children of God that were scattered abroad. You know, you know, that goes scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth. Like I was saying, you know, we were gonna get in. We were gonna get into it. We're getting into it. You know, it says it in Matthew 2 as well. It says in Matthew chapter 12 and verse 30, he that is not with me is against me. He that is gathereth not with me scattereth abroad. Yeah, and ultimately we weren't with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's why we were scattered abroad. And that goes for the people today. If you're not with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you're against him. You know? Because I brought that out before and used that as that example too as well. Because we got people that are enemies of the cross. So they're against Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai as well. You know? But yeah, ultimately, like I was saying, it's going into the scattering as well. That's going into the you know, those that's how our people were scattered across the four corners of the earth, and you know, we were Gentiles. Then, so you know, that's the simplicity of Hamashiach Yahushai right there, man. You know, to know that Caiaphas was talking about two nations, man. You know, you know, he's talking about the Jews and the Gentiles. You know, because another nation, you know, that was what Peter said. You know, it's like I've never, you know, that's why Peter said that go into another nation. You know. You see, roughly paraphrasing, saying I can't go into another nation, you know. So that's why Peter said that, and you know, because Cornelius he was a Gentile. That's what Peter was talking about, you know. So we could get into Acts chapter 10. So this is Acts chapter 10, and I'm gonna start at verse 11. And saw heaven opened, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit at the four corners and let down to the earth, where were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, wild beasts and creepy things and fowls of the air. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, No, not so, Lord, for I have eaten anything that is common or unclean. And a voice spake unto him again, second time, which God had cleansed, that call not thou uncommon. Call not thou common. So yeah, this was that vision, you know, showing Peter. Peter was getting that vision, you know, of the Gentiles. You know, that's what he's saying. Cleanse those Gentiles, and you know, call not thou common. Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, he's saying that what God had cleansed, you know, he's cleansing the Gentiles. And what called not thou common was the Gentiles. So this was done thrice, and the vessel was received up again unto heaven. Now while Peter doubted in himself that his vision which he had seen should mean, behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house and stood before the gate. So yeah, when he seen the vision, you know, it was 3 times on the vision, and 3 men came to him, you know. So that's how you know it's talking about the Gentiles. While Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek thee. Yeah, and that's what that's getting into, the 3 men that seek thee. Like I was saying, you know? So Khan. Because the vision was given to him 3 times. And then, like I said, verse 19, while Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek thee. And that's the 3 times the vision, and 3 men came up to him. You know? So that's all. That's why Peter said, I can't go into anything that is common or unclean. So he's basically saying, Lo on me. You know, these are not my people. But Yahweh Bashim Yahushai was letting them know that they are his people. You know, because the vision was showing of the men that were going to be cleansed. You know, Peter and the people. You know, him and his household. You know, so Khan. You know, and like Yahweh Shai, he came to a centurion as well, you know, and then that centurion was a Jew, you know, and like, you know, Caiaphas, you know, yeah, I'm saying it right, Caiaphas, that's how you say his name, you know, Salaki, I thought I was saying it wrong, but yeah, like they knew that there was rumors amongst the Jews, like that they were gonna come to the Gentiles. That's why they were saying like, oh, you talk to the Gentiles now, you know, and because yeah, those were the ones that were getting brought back in, you know, that grafted back in, that wild olive tree. Khan. Because yeah, Peter knew not to deal with the Gentiles. You know, he was raised up, you know, as a Jew, you know, of the circumcision. You know, that's why I was saying he said, Lo on me. So Khan, I want to line that up with Galatians. Khan, we're still going. All right, just want to make sure we're still going. Yeah, I have a lesson on the Gentiles as well, but I just wanted to get more into it for edification's sake, in case people didn't know what the Acts chapter 10 was talking about. Well, honestly, let's continue on the Acts 10 for edification's sake, and then I'll get Galatians 2. This is Acts chapter 10, verse 20. Arise therefore and get thee down, go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. Yeah, because he was doubting it, but the vision was made manifest, you know? That's what it was talking about. Verse 21, and Peter went down to the men which were sent unto him from Cornelius and said, Behold, I am he whom ye seek. What is the cause wherefore ye are come? And they said, Cornelius, a centurion, like I said, you know how Yahweh Shai, you know, he went to a centurion as well. And you know, Yahweh Shai, you know, he went to Judea and Samaria, and you know, and then he went to the Gentiles. You know, just like how Paul said, lo, and now we go to the Gentiles. You know, because they condemned themselves by not believing in Yahweh Shai, because they rejected Paul. So he said, lo, now we go into the Gentiles. Roughly paraphrasing. You know, in Acts 13, I brought that out in my last block lesson. You know, Khan. So yeah, like. So we see that Paul and Barnabas, they were doing it to the Gentiles as well, just like Peter at this time. But it was given to Peter first, but then it all led up to Paul and Barnabas as well, doing it too. Because we know that Paul was of the uncircumcision, which I'm going to get in Galatians chapter 2. You know, and Paul, he was a chosen vessel for to preach to the Gentiles in Acts chapter 9, you know, and that's why they call him the apostle of the Gentiles. So Khan, let's get this right here. Continuing on, verse 22, and they said, Cornelius, a centurion, a just man, a one that feareth Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, of good report among all the nation of the Jews, was warned from God by an holy angel to send for thee into his house and to hear the words of thee. So yeah, he was a just man, being a righteous man, one that feareth Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. We know the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And a lot of people don't have the fear of the Lord. That's why they don't have the true wisdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And that's how you know that he had a good report among all the Jews. That's why you want to have a good name, a good name is as precious ointment, as it says Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Like I did a lesson on that. Yahweh Razal, check it out. And Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you had him an angel sent for thee into his house, to line him up to meet Peter, man. So if you read on in this chapter, it says that his alms were and his prayers were heard. So his alms counted to get his prayers heard, roughly paraphrasing. So that's why you always want to give alms deeds in alms in any type of way, spiritual alms or actual alms. Showing love and giving your brother some money when he needs it, because they will be accounted for. Or your works do follow you, as the scriptures say. So when Yahweh Shai comes, your works will follow you. And this is how you know he was an Israelite, because only an Israelite would give alms and fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Verse 23, then called he and them and lodged them, and on the morrow Peter went away with them, and certain brethren from Joppa accompanied him. And the morrow after they entered in Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for them and had called together and kinsmen, near friends. As Peter was coming and Cornelius met him, fell down at his feet and worshipped him. So we see this brother had compassion. But Peter took him up and saying, stand up, I myself am a man. Yeah, because we only want to do that for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. That's why Peter was letting him know that. Like Yahweh Shai said, why callest me good, knowing the Father is the one, roughly paraphrasing. Verse 26, but Peter took him up, saying, stand up, I myself am a man. And he talked with him, and he went in, found many that were come together. And he said unto them, ye know that it is unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto in another nation, but Yahweh has showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. So yeah, he's going back into the vision that he got from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua to let the Gentiles be added into the fold. That they're going to be cleansed, these Gentiles. Because they were unclean at this time, because they through the Hellenization. Through the book of Maccabees, which happened in the book of Maccabees. So Khan, yeah, like I said, it's lucky I didn't say, but like that four beasts, the vision, the creatures coming together, it's all an allegory, like I was saying, because it's all ultimately talking about the Gentiles being cleansed. Yeah, because even when you read Acts 11, it goes into the Gentiles, and they're going into that how they received the word, and going into the circumcision. They were contended with him, the circumcision that we're talking about it, how he ate with the uncircumcision, so it's identifying it right there. Circumcision is the Jews that were raised up in the customs, and uncircumcision were the Gentiles, that went through the Hellenization, and that's why I say, that's that low on me, not my people, because they came uncircumcised in the time of the Maccabees. God. We know that holy angel is what helped Cornelius be brought to Peter, like I was saying. So come verse 30. And Cornelius said, 4 days ago I was fasting until this hour. At the 9th hour I prayed in my house. Behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing, and said, Cornelius, thy prayer is heard, and thine alms are had in remembrance in the sight of God. So yeah, like I said, his prayers were heard, and his alms were had in remembrance in the sight of God, like I was saying earlier. So his alms were in remembrance. That's why you want to give alms, because as the scriptures say, alms delivereth from death. And we want to be delivered from death in the time of affliction, which is coming, is Jacob's trouble. So we give alms and alms deeds to the best of our ability. So we know Tobit, he was giving alms deeds. Khan. And then that woman was too in the book of Acts. She was giving alms. Khan. See, get that. Khan, yeah, it was Tabitha, Salaki. I just wanted to get the name of who I was talking about. She followed Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's teachings, and she made clothes, for the widows and the poor. So, Khan. Yeah, because I don't think I've ever said the name before, Salaki, about that. She's got to prove all things. Yeah, it's verse Acts 9:36. And now there was Joppa, a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is Dorcas. This woman was full of good works, alms deeds, which she did. Like I said, that alms deeds, we could get into that alms deeds right here in the blue letter. Alms deeds, mercy, pity, exhibiting and giving alms, charity, beneficent itself, a donation to the poor. That's a form of alms, how she was giving to the poor. And you could also do it as spiritual alms by giving someone wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. There's different types of alms. So yeah, let's get into that. Yeah, since so I went over that. Now I'm gonna get into Galatians chapter 2 to follow up with it. It's Galatians chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 7. But contrariwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Peter. So right there, like I was saying, the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me. That's Paul. The gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto Paul. He was used as a vessel to preach to the scattered Israelites, man. That's why it would say like to the saints. And you get that because when you read the book of Romans, just as an example, it will say Romans chapter 1 and verse 7. To all that be in Rome, beloved of God, beloved, the house of David, So if you got to be of the house of David, you got to be an Israelite. beloved of God, called to be saints. If you're a saint, that means you're an Israelite. Let's get Psalms 148 and 14, just for edification's sake. Psalms chapter 148 and verse 14. He exalted the horn of his people, praise of all his saints, even the children of Israel. A people near unto him, praise ye Yahweh. Yeah, so the saints are talking about are Israelites. You know, so this is only for Israel if you're gonna make it into the, if you're gonna be of the elect in the kingdom of heaven, which is gonna be on earth as on earth as it is in heaven. In the Lord's prayer, this kingdom of heaven is gonna be on earth. You know, that's why it says in Ecclesiastes, the earth abideth forever. Con. So let's get go back to that Romans chapter 1 and verse 8. Salakia, yeah, con. Yeah, peace, yeah. Grace to you, peace be. I'll just read the first 7. To all that be in Rome, beloved of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the house of David, called to be saints, grace to you, peace from our God, our Father, and Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So yeah, to all that be in Rome, this is talking to the Israelites, man. The house of David, the beloved of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the saints. You know? Come on. Get another example of that. That's why it says it all over in those it says it all in those epistles, you know, like Colossians chapter 1 verse 2. To the saints and the faithful brethren in Mashiach which are at Colossae, grace be unto you and peace from God our Father, the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. You know? So Khan. Yeah, Paul, an apostle of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, by the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and Timothy, our brother. Yeah, so you do this by the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We don't do it by the will of man. And like I was saying, to the saints, you know, in Colossians, man, that are at Colossae, man. So Khan, it's plain and simple that it's to his holy people, you know, that were at the city of Colossae, you know, which were Israelites, man, the saints. So Khan. So when he was going to those places, he was coming to the Israelites because they were under Greco-Roman cultures. You know, that's why. Oh yeah, we gonna get that too. Khan, let me just get that real quick. 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. I'll start at 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. You know that you were Gentiles carried away into these dumb idols, even as you were led. Yeah, because we were Gentiles. You know, we were Gentiles. You know, and now we're not, because we have that breath of life. Like I was saying, we were divorced. You know, because we're the wife. You know, we're the bride. You know, so like Yahweh Shai is the bridegroom coming back for his bride. We're the bride, and we were the ones that were cast away, carried away into these dumb idols. That's why we were Gentiles. But now we're not. Let me get that with 1 Corinthians 6, verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And such were some of you, but ye are washed, but ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of the Lord Yahweh Shai by the Spirit of our God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yeah, so and that's the point. Verse 11, some of you were Gentiles, you know, but ye are washed. You know, we're washed through the water baptism in the name of Yahweh Shai. You know, and now we're sanctified through the sanctification process, sanctification of the word. You know, that's what Ephesians 5 meant by washing by the water or by the word. You know, that's that sanctification process. That's not water baptism. You know? So yes, some of us, we're doing these things, you know, but now we're washed. We came with the breath of life. We received that Holy Ghost, and we got baptized in water in the name of Yahweh Shai for remission of sins to receive the Holy Ghost. So you get that point in the saints thing real quick, and then we can continue on. See if I got them all. Just from Ephesians 1:1. Paul, an apostle by Yahweh Shai Mashiach, by the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, to the saints which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. So the only ones that are faithful and are saints, that when he came to the Ephesians, are the Israelites, according to Psalms 148 and 14. And you know, the only ones that have faith in Yahweh Shai are the faith and patience of the saints, man. How it says in Revelation chapter 13. That's why we're patient, you know, because we got to suffer. Yeah, I got the Colossians one, you know, like, you know, it says saints, you know, in Thessalonians too, you know, like, it's just a lot of saints, you know, examples. So you get the point, you know. That's why he said it when he was going into these other areas that were in a Greco-Roman culture. He had to let them know this is to the saints, man. This is to the Israelites that are of faith. You know, because anything that is not of faith is sin. You know, without faith, it's impossible to please him. So he knew that Yahweh Shai, he's the light to the Gentiles. You know, he went through Paul, that chosen vessel, and then in the book of Acts, we've seen that they got that light. You know, that they woke up. Con. So let's continue on. You know, like I'll read verse 17 again. But contrary-wise, when they saw that the gospel of uncircumcision was committed unto me, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Peter. See, I explained it that Paul, he was to the uncircumcision. You know, he was to the Gentiles. That's what uncircumcision is. And, you know, Peter, he was to the circumcision, was to Peter. That's why when Peter in Acts chapter 10, he said, no unclean thing coming to me, you know, that's why he wasn't familiar with this. You know, he didn't understand it because he was to the circumcision. You know, that's what that's getting into, you know. That's why when Paul was sent as a vessel to the Gentiles, you know, Peter remained in Jerusalem. You know, apostle means sent away, and that's what the apostle Paul was doing. You know, so see, that's what I was saying. That's why I said to the beloved saints in Rome, and, you know, so on and so forth. You know, in Acts chapter 1, I went into in my last lesson, you know, the Israelites that were scattered, you know, because that were preached to were those wild olive trees, you know, because it's going. That's how the order was. They went to the circumcision, and then they went to the Gentiles. That's why Paul said, "Lo, now we go into the Gentiles," and we went to an example of how Peter went into the Gentiles. So because the Israelites, they had to. Those were those wild olive trees. You know, those Israelites that came out of these Greco-Roman customs, man. Because, like I said, we weren't raised as Jews. We were all Gentiles. You know, that's why I say now we're washed. You know. So verse 8. For he that wrought effectually in Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles. Yeah, like I was saying, you know, he was raised in these customs, you know, the circumcision. Peter was to the apostleship of the circumcision, you know, and you know, and that's why Peter said, I have never eaten anything unclean or uncommon, roughly paraphrasing, you know. So yeah, so that's what that was. that's what I wanted to get into, that example right there, you know. Yeah, I'll read it in NLT for edification's sake. Galatians 2 and verse 8. Galatians 2 and 8. For the same God worked through Peter as the apostle to the Jews, also worked through me as apostle to the Gentiles. So yeah, Paul was just explaining it. You know, that Paul is for the circumcision, and Slakia, Paul was for the uncircumcision, and Peter was for the circumcision. That's what he was explaining. So he was saying that God worked through Peter as an apostle to the Jews, you know, apostle to the circumcision, and he worked through me as an apostle to the Gentiles, to the uncircumcision. Come on, you know. So yeah, like, all right, it's all this is edifying while we're going into this, man. You know. Come on. So this is see what the time's looking like. Con. All right, this is so I want to get that John chapter 7. It's all right. It's all good. So this is the book of John chapter 7 and verse 35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go, that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Yeah, that's what that's getting into. You know, let's get that diaspora for edification's sake. It's John chapter 7 in verse 35. Diaspora, that's what that word means, for dispersed. Salakia. I'm gonna click on it. It clicked me off of it. That's why I said Salakia. But yeah, diaspora, scattering, dispersion. So we know that means a scattering as well of Israelites, dispersed, scattered among foreign nations. You know, so come, scattered abroad, like what we went into in John 11. You know, so come. Yeah, let me get this one to line it up with it. This is 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, through the sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua Mashiach, grace unto you and peace be multiplied. So yeah, elect according to the foreknowledge. That's going into that predestination. You know, like Ephesians chapter 1, with the first fruits, man. You know, from the foundation of the earth. Roughly paraphrasing. That's what we're trying to be in these last days. You know, of the elect. You know, chosen from the foundation of the earth. And you know, Peter, an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach, was just explaining it right there, that this is to the strangers, man. You know, so this was, you know, he was to those strangers, those chosen people, the Israelites, man. So that's what that's getting into. Come on, those Israelite strangers, man, that were scattered. You know, so it says scattered in verse 1. Let's click on that scattered. Diaspora. Scattering, dispersion of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. Like I was saying, that's that same diaspora, you know. So come on, this is for edification's sake, precept upon precept on it, you know. So come on, yeah. So and we know that our people were scattered in 70 AD, you know, and then they went to West Africa, and then like I brought out in Deuteronomy 28. We were scattered over here. You know, Deuteronomy 28:64. We were scattered, you know, to the Western Hemisphere and to the four corners of the earth, because it wasn't just they came over to Babylon the Great. They were scattered into other slave trades. You know, four corners of the earth. Yeah, so that's why that they were saying this in verse 35. I'll read again. Then the Jews among themselves, whither will he go, that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Yeah, because those Gentiles, that's where he would be going to, the uncircumcision, the ones in the heathen customs. Because the Jews were in the circumcision, they were of the customs. That's why they were saying this. And that's why I said that's that diaspora, gather, his people from among the other nations, man, like what I just went over. So Khan. Yup. So Khan, let's get this Romans chapter 9. So when Paul paraphrased it, this is 9. Romans chapter 9, verse 24. Even us, whom he had called not of Jews only, but also Gentiles. Verse 25, as saith also in Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not my beloved. And we seen in the book of Romans chapter 1, he was calling them beloved. That's the house of David. So they were divorced, but they came back. They got that breath of life. Just like how, like for example, us, we got that breath of life and we're brought back into the fold. We're those laborers brought back into the fold that Yahweh Shai say, pray that there be more laborers because there are few. So Khan. Let's get that. Let's get that Isaiah chapter 11. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 11, verse 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand up for an ensign of the people. And there's a right there. That's a semicolon, which means equal to. So the people of Israel are going to be equal to, and it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. So it's equal to the Gentiles. It's talking about the Israelite Gentiles. And it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from islands of the sea. So Israel is as a scattered sheep, as it says in Jeremiah chapter 50. So Khan, and also scattered across the four corners of the earth, because Yahweh Shai, when he's coming with his chariots, he's gonna gather the elect from the four corners of the earth. So Khan. So verse 12, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So yeah, he's going to gather Israel and Judah, the northern and southern kingdom. Khan. That's what that's getting into, because we know that the kingdom was split after Solomon sinned when he went after women, and Khan, which ultimately led to the captivities, So Khan, which ultimately leads us into this last captivity today. We're in the revised Roman Empire, as our forefather Daniel prophesied about. Because we went through the Assyrian captivity, and then the Babylonian captivity, the Medes and Persian captivity, the Greeks captivity, which was in the book of Maccabees, like I was saying, when our people became uncircumcised, the Hellenization period, and in the Roman Empire during the time of Yahweh Shai. So if you don't understand this prophecy that Daniel preached, which was in Daniel chapter 2 and 7, then you can't understand the mystery, because you don't know the history that we were under a Roman captivity under the time of Yahweh Shai, when he was crucified, and then now we're in that iron and clay, man, which is that revised Roman Empire. Khan, in which we know as well that when Yahweh Shai comes, like it says in that prophecy, Khan, that like it says, Khan, it says it in that prophecy, the feet, at the bottom, that in Daniel 2, Khan, he's gonna those toes, that's why I said the feet, he went through all those empires, Yahweh Shai, the toes, because the Savior, the cornerstone, he's gonna crush it, man. He's gonna crush it. He's gonna crush this kingdom, Satan's kingdom, man. I went over that before too as well. I told you that the stone's gonna crush the kingdom, but I didn't tell you that the chief cornerstone's Yahweh Shai. He's the one that's gonna do that. Khan. Yeah, Israel and Judah, like I was saying, like in Isaiah chapter 11, they're going to be gathered by preaching of the word, before the chariots come. So they're going to hear it, because faith cometh by hearing of the word. And like Romans chapter 10, it tells you that you need a teacher, man. Just like in Acts chapter 8 as well, a eunuch, the Ethiopian who was an Israelite. He said, how will I understand unless I have a teacher? But yeah, ultimately, yeah, like I was saying, Yahweh Shai, he's gonna crush the toes at the bottom, So Khan, that's what I was getting at, that bottom, man. He's gonna crush it. That iron and clay, where we're at right now. It's gonna be crushed through that stone, through that chief cornerstone, when he comes back with the chariots. And the kings of the east be prepared, which is going into Russia. Like I brought out in that lesson, going into the Euphrates River, how it's drying up. Prophecies being fulfilled. The testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. So we're telling this testimony, this witness. So it's either you're gonna be justified by it, or you're gonna be condemned. Come on, because every idle word, you will be counted of on the day of judgment. So you either be justified by your words or condemned. So Khan. Let's get that 1 Peter 2:9. That 1 Peter 2:9, and then 1 Peter 2:9, then we can wrap it up. Slovakia, bear with me, I'm about to get it right now. Yeah, like James chapter 4, this is why we say Yahweh willing. Because tomorrow's never promised. We could die anytime, and if we die, we're dying for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. We're putting up our bodies as a living sacrifice. This is our reasonable service. We're the altar now. We're the ones, bringing that sacrifice, that temple. We're the temple now. This 1 Peter chapter 2. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who had called you out of darkness into the marvelous light. And that's why we're chosen, The elect are going to be chosen, from the foundations of the earth, like I brought out in 1 Peter chapter 1. We've been brought out of that darkness into the marvelous light. Yahweh Radazal, we have that number. Verse 10, which in the time past were not a people, but are now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. So right there, he just paraphrased Hosea, man. You know, and you know, and Paul went into it into what we brought out in Romans chapter 9. You know, because now we have obtained that mercy. Now we're in the grace period. And the mercies, what are those mercies that we're looking for? The mercies of David, man. You know, David, he committed adultery, you know, and he had the brother killed, man. Come on. Yeah, so he had someone, so he committed adultery and he had him killed. Those are, if that was in the first covenant, those would have been two things that would put you to death, you know. Come on. So we know that as well, you know, David, he counted the number of Israel when he wasn't supposed to. You know, Moses, he counted the Israel when he was supposed to. Satan put it on David to count the number of Israel, and he did it. You know, but he received mercy. Of course, David was punished for what he did, you know, with Bathsheba, for committing that adultery and having Bathsheba's husband put to death. But we know that he received the punishment that first son that he had with Bathsheba died. But you know, David, he also ate of the showbread. The showbread was only for the high priest. So we know that in the first covenant there was things committed that you would get punished for. But now that we're in with the grace of Yahweh Shai, you know, which ultimately we're trying to, if we're of that number, we'll be brought into the second covenant, having these new bodies, you know, the laws implemented in our inward parts and in our mind, you know, so we know that we would receive the mercies of David. And that's what we're going to get, the mercies of David, Yahweh Razah, if we have that number. And David, he received the mercies. What was that mercy? Having Solomon. He had Solomon, and then after Solomon, a temple couldn't be built, you know, through Solomon and Yahweh Shai, you know. Yeah, so like, I mean, after Solomon and Yahweh Shai, a temple couldn't be built no more, you know. So now we're that temple. Like as it says in the scriptures, know ye that your body is the temple, you know. We're that temple now, man. Come on. So you can't, you know, Yahweh Razah. Let's get that James 1:1 real quick, just for edification's sake, so you know that this is because we're going over the Gentiles real quick, and then I'll wrap it up, you know. So this is James chapter 1 and verse 1. James, the servant of Yahweh, of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So this is to the 12 tribes are scattered abroad. This is who it was for that time, and it's nothing new under the sun. It's for this word is for the elect of Israel, Yahweh Razah, you know, and we can line that up with Acts chapter 26, precept upon precept, line upon line, like how I started off with this lesson. Acts chapter 26, in verse 9. Salaki, it was, Khan. It's Acts chapter 26. Let me get that real quick. Acts chapter 26 and verse 7. Salakia. I said 9. I'll start at 6. And now I stand and am judged for the hope of the promise made of Yahweh unto our fathers. And yeah, that's that faith, you know. That's what Paul standed up for. He standed boldly, you know, he had hope to the promise made unto our fathers, you know, to our forefathers, the patriarchs, man. You know, is Abraham. Then it went to Isaac, and then it went, you know, and then it went to Jacob. And then it went to the 12 sons, which ultimately is the 12 tribes of Israel. That's why this next verse says, verse 7. Unto which promised our 12 tribes, instantly serving God day and night, hope to come, for which hope's sake, King Agrippa, I am accused of the Jews. So yeah, this is to the 12 tribes, man. You know, that lines up with James 1:1. Greetings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. See, people get, if you go off, you get rebuked. Just like Yahushua, he had to rebuke Peter. This is Matthew. Chapter 16, and this is Matthew chapter 16, verse 22. I'll start at 21 for edification. From that time forth, Yahushua to show unto his disciples how he must die unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders, chief priests, and scribes, and be killed and rise again the third day. So he's letting them know, He's letting the disciples know how he's gonna be die and raise again the third day. The crucifixion. He's going over it. That's that resurrection of the third day. Going into the Hebrews 6, the principles. That's the foundation we need to stay on in Yahushua. Verse 22. And Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, "Be it far from thee, Lord. This shall not be unto thee." But he turned and said unto Peter, "Get from behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me, for thou savorest not the things be of Yahweh Shai, but those be of men." So that what Peter was doing was being of men, being carnal right there. That's why Yahweh Shai had to rebuke him, because Peter thought he was rebuking Yahweh Shai. No, Yahweh Shai rebuked you. So if we're ever going off, we got to take that rebuke. Like how it tells you in book of Proverbs, to take that rebuke, like verse Proverbs 15:10. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way, but he that hateth reproof shall die. If you hateth reproof, you shall die. It's plain and simple. So you ultimately will not be on the straight and narrow. You'll be on the broad way, which leadeth to destruction. On the straight and narrow. So you would ultimately end in the lake of fire, which is Gehenna. So let me get one more and then I'll wrap it up, because I gotta go to the plantation. The Esau Edom, the so-called white man, be doing me in. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 27. What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops. So we're gonna preach this upon the housetops. We're going to speak it in light, whichever is spoken to us, in darkness. Like Yahushua said, this is red letter. That's why we warn the people, We're going to speak this, man. Verse 20. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. So anything that we speak is through the Holy Ghost, man. We don't speak after the will of man, Come on. Verse 21, and the brother shall be delivered up, and the brother to death, and the father to the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and cause them to be put to death. And he shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. So we are going to be hated of all men for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua's namesake. That's why he says, "Blessed are ye that are persecuted for righteous sake." Because we're going to be hated of all men for his name's sake. But he that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. But he that endures to the end shall be saved. So Yahweh Radazal, this is edifying. I'm going to end this. This is Matthew chapter 26 and verse 6. Now when Yahushua was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box, a very precious ointment, poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, "To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much, and given to the poor." When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, "Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there's also this that this woman had done be told for a memorial of her." And with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Peace, salutations to the hopeful elect, scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity, waiting on the second coming of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Shalom.